Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. Hey Meta Hunters, what's up? My name is Uprising from Meta Hunters, and I welcome you to Calamity Canteen, the latest episode. And look at that beautiful scenery. This has to be one of my favorite updates so far for Monster Hunter World. This is just absolutely awesome. I felt for this episode we would go to the actual gathering hub because I rarely do videos here. I'm actually rarely in the gathering hub as well. This is the offline solo area or solo version of the gathering hub, but one of these days I do plan to come here online to do a group discussion, hopefully when the official Discord and website get set up, which are a work in progress. I do apologize, but we'll get to that in a second. But look at this beautiful, beautiful scenery. Not just the character in front of you, but no, seriously, check out the beautiful scenery. The just everything about it is awesome. Excuse me for 1 second. My apologies. Just got done. Just got off the phone for an interesting, for a work-related conversation. But here we are, everyone. Welcome to the Calamity Canteen. Please raise your glasses. Tonight is a very interesting drink. It's actually an alcoholic beverage. It's a little bit of Bacardi, but not too much in it. Just a little bit of Bacardi, because every Caribbean islander, we always gotta have at least once every so often. But please raise your favorite drink, whatever that may be, and come join me for an interesting conversation as to updates regarding the channel and updates regarding Monster Hunter in general. So raise your glasses and cheers, everybody. Very nice. It's exactly as I remember. Tastes horrible at first. The aftertaste is interesting. So I'm testing out a different Blue Yeti mic, or different Blue microphone. I actually have two. I'm testing out my older one. This Yeti has been with me since 2011. Crazy how long I've had it. And hopefully the audio quality is a little bit better in this one. I've noticed that it sounds a little bit silent in the previous Calamity Canteens. And I'm hoping that the older one, because I think for those I was using the Snowball. And for this one in particular, I'm using the old school like Gen 1 Yeti. And I hope it's going to suffice. I should be upgrading to like, I should upgrade my recording equipment a little bit. I'm thinking of going with the Quadcast. I think it was by HyperX at one point or another, but so many other different things come up and, regular average everyday bills and stuff come up. So priorities have to be shifted around a little bit. But one day fairly soon I'll be able to just, go out and just upgrade the equipment just a little bit, because as much as I love Blue, I love the company, I like the brand, and I feel like the microphones are very good and they're very well built. I do feel like it's time to just keep up with the times just a little bit, much like everything else going on with the channel, right? But yes, we're gonna take a dip in some of the hot springs so we get some of that action going on. I really like Celestia with the spectacles, I think it's called, the glasses. It just, and of course I gotta give you guys some curve shots. Gotta give you guys some of that. The Elatrion Greatsword is also very cool looking, but I don't actually prefer this weapon in comparison to some other Greatswords. Actually, it's not my primary one that I would go with in every situation. It's kind of just like, it looks cool, but I don't know if I would roll it majority of the time in comparison to some others. But let's take a dip in the hot spring and let's get right to it. So, as you guys know, the official trailer was released. The channel one day was blowing up. The day the trailer was released, my phone notifications were just blowing up incredibly. I didn't know what was going on. It's not often that the channel gets a lot of notifications like that at one time. And I thought honestly something was wrong at first. And Drake, you actually commented and said, well, it looks like we're going to have another episode for World. And I had no idea. Look at that. Look at the lanterns flying in the distance. That is excellent drone shot footage. Well, in-game drone shot footage. That is beautiful. something I gotta give World to. I gotta give it a hand to the development team because they make the areas look fantastic. So, Drake, I didn't know what you were originally hinting at, because I was like, yeah, we already have I was gonna say collab, but we already have the small bonus episode of World that's coming out. Hopefully soon. I'm still got a few monsters to record. I think one of them is Raging Bracky because I have not actually went back to re-record some footage for him, but just like a little montage of monsters that weren't shown originally in World's walkthrough and Iceborne, World/Iceborne's walkthrough. And the wife actually hit me up while I was at work and she said, "Hey, did you see Fatalis is coming to World?" And I said, "No way." I was getting ready to drive to a different site and I I sat there and I took a second and I looked back and I just said, didn't we say everything that we needed to say with Alatreon? Like, didn't we? Like, Alatreon should have been it, in my opinion. But I always had this sick feeling in my stomach that Fatalis was going to come back. And believe me, I'm excited that Fatalis is coming to World. I think they're going to do a lot of good things with that fight. Especially if the background scenery is what I think it is. Then we're going to be going back to Shrade, which is going to be very interesting. The best way that they can do Fatalis, in my opinion, is make it a multi-stage fight. Make it to where, if any of you guys have played Final Fantasy XIV Coils of Bahamut, that raid, I think they should do something like that with Fatalis, and I think it would make a lot of sense. I think it would be perfect. I'm glad it seems like we're gonna go back to the old world for a little bit, or just for that one hunt. But I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm excited to fight Fatalis in World, and I think it's going to be exciting. But I'd be disingenuous if I didn't say I wasn't taken back for a second and said, man, they had to do it to me, didn't they? Like, maybe one of the developers or maybe one of the concept artists, but one of the guys at the offices over there at Capcom probably looked at the channel and said, you know what? We gotta put Fatalis in here and just troll him a little bit, troll Uprising just a little bit. And obviously I'm joking here. Take what I say with a grain of salt sometimes. But I'm very excited for Fatalis, and luckily for us, we are more than ready, and we already have been working on a small story as to why Celestia is going to be going up against a Fatalis, when obviously now with the end of World, as you guys know, she's moved on from attempting to hunt and potentially commit a genocide against the Fatalis species. Ever since she fought her father, more and more about the past and history of the Fatalis species she was becoming more aware of that, and she was getting more of the history lessons and everything. So going with that, moving forward, how we have to approach this fight and connect it to the story, because this bonus episode has to be canon. Same with Alatreon, it's going to be canon, and we have to work it in perfectly in order for it to make sense. Like, why is she going to fight a Fatalis when her only objective at this point now is raising her 2 kids, which, shout outs to our huntress, she got married and she's officially had a son and a daughter. A son named Mijo, which in Spanish means my son, and Serenity, which for the daughter, which is awesome. I'm very happy that we finally got to write that into her story. So, with everything that happened in World, her ending, at least for World/Iceborne, was not on a bittersweet. It was actually on a very upswing tempo, and I hope that came across to you guys as well when you were reading her story and reading the episodes of what was going on. So her sole objective now is just raising her family, continuing to work with the commission, travel around a little bit, but still the main goal is still to reunite the remaining portions of her family, and in this case it would be her brother. Now, how to work this in, it was interesting. Like I said, it's a process and it's interesting, but we definitely have all the details of what we want to say with Celestia and make this into a, she knows why she has to go and fight this Fatalis. She already knows the reason, but she's of clear mind when she's doing it, and she isn't doing it out of spite, not out of revenge, not out of anything. Again, she's moved past that, and I do want to make that very clear. Like, Celestia is not going to revert back to her younger years of, no, Fatalis did this to my region, to the whole Shrade kingdom of where I was born, and this, it devastated my family a little bit. But she's a pure human being. She's of a pure, not necessarily a pure soul, but she's a good character, and we're not going to revert that. So it'll be explained a little bit going forward, but I'm excited to fight Fatalis. I'm incredibly excited to fight it. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. And it'd be cool if, like, the Fatalis, when you reach the halfway point with it, it just transforms into like a white Fatalis right then and there. And that really amplifies the fight up a bit. I would love to see if they did that. Would it make a lot of sense? Depends on which way you look at it. But I'm very excited to fight Fatalis, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. The armor looks interesting. I'm not a fan of the cape in the back, but hey, to each their own. Like I said, looks interesting regardless, and I'm just as excited to fight the monster as you guys would be. Even though the armor kind of looks a little bit different from its original iteration, it still looks good. And I hope the armor is going to have an interesting bonus, like attributes and everything to it. And the greatsword especially. Obviously, I'm going to check out the greatsword, no doubt about that. But I'm very excited to fight Fatalis. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. And come October 1st, that's the number one thing I'm going to be doing. We've also casted Umi and Shio will be as you guys know, the actress, the official voice of Celestia for 3U. She will also be voicing for that bonus episode. So that bonus episode will actually be commentated as well. It'll feature commentary from Celestia herself. We're gonna, I've learned some things with video editing. I messed around a lot in terms of making the presentation with Alatreon feel like an actual boss encounter, make it feel like this is a very special monster. We have to do something very, very special for him, and that's what I wanted to capture with Alatreon's video. And same thing we're going to be doing with Fatalis. Like, Fatalis is very special. This is a Gen 1 monster. It's the black dragon of all black dragons, so we're going to be doing some kick-ass stuff with him for sure. And I hope you guys are excited for that. And yeah, Fatalis, everybody. Everyone, the community pushed for it. Everybody wanted Fatalis, and it's a good way to close off World. So I'm excited. Hope you all are too. And let me take a quick swig. Nice. Excuse me. Ugh. I'm telling you, it's the aftertaste. All right, but Fatalis trailer, awesome, looked good. Very excited for it. Allegedly, this was a rumor that was going around on social media that an MH game is coming to the Switch. It hasn't been officially announced, but it's basically been a thing that, okay, either it's World 2 or it's going to be 6, and that's going to be on the Switch. I'm very excited for that, and it seems like we might get that showcase at the Tokyo Game Show on the 25th. Most likely we're going to see something, even if it's maybe stories coming to the Switch. An MH game is most certainly coming, and I'm excited. I mainly play on PC nowadays, but for the wife, I know she plays on Switch. I know a lot of hunters play on the Switch, and the Switch, in my opinion, if you had to play a console If you're playing a console right now, I feel like the Switch is probably like the best console you can go with in terms of its diversity. But obviously, the PS5 is coming, as well as the Xbox One X. Jesus, I'm sorry. The new Xbox is coming as well, right around the corner. So exciting times. We're about to hit the next generation of consoles. I remember, shoot, this is like what, the fourth or fifth generation of consoles I'm seeing as an adult and actually like growing up with it. I remember when G4 TV was doing the live broadcasting when the PS3 and the Xbox 360 were being showcased. Shoutouts to any of you shoutouts to any of you guys if you remember that. If you remember watching that, because I remember I still remember Adam Sessler doing interviews and everything else. It's wild to look back at it now. 5 generations, dude. Holy crap. I'm getting old. I hate to say it like that, but I'm absolutely getting old. Oh my goodness. Adult years, they really come quick. But it'll be exciting to see what's going to come at the Tokyo Game Show this year. I know I'll be tuning in. Well, I may not. I may have to catch the replay because most likely I'll be at work at that time. But I will definitely try to be, you guys see the news before I see the news. I catch the updates though, so it'll be very cool to see. Next topic, MH3 update. Where are we with the project? So 3U is an extremely sensitive project because this is a game where a new generation of hunters for Monster Hunter was born. A lot of you guys came in during 3U. My wife was introduced. I introduced her to Monster Hunter with 3U, and I am taking all the time needed, and I hope you guys understand. It's a very special game to many hunters out there. And this is a very special project. And I have to make sure it is perfect. It cannot be anything short of that. If it's anything short of perfection, then in my opinion, I didn't do a good enough job. I want 3U. And as I said before in the previous Calamity Canteen, 3U is going to be very different from the other series that we've done so far. It's going to still be, it's going to keep its traditional guidelines. It's going to keep the traditional feel of let you see the game, let you hear the game, let you experience the way you were meant to experience it. But it will feature Celestia. She's going to be doing a lot of commentary. She's going to be talking to you, and she's going to be voicing her thoughts, during the middle of a fight. And she's going to be showcasing emotion and everything I've ever wanted to capture with the character is going to be showcased with 3U. And 3U, I know we were supposed to start in the middle of August. That got delayed. Unfortunately, a couple projects we were working on for the channel are currently under delay. But the video production side of everything is still a go. It's just things are taking a lot more time to master. We want to try to remain consistent with the episodes outside of the initial introduction week, where we'll do episode 1 will be showcased, but then that'll be it for that week. And then the following week, we start off with 5 episodes. We're really trying to remain within those parameters of making sure we can be as consistent as possible, but that may not fully be the case. We may have to do, instead of 5, 3 episodes, or space the episodes out a little bit more, because 3U is just that special. And I've wanted to do something incredible. I wanted to really modernize the video series, but at the same time keep its traditional roots. Not take anything away from the game itself. Let the game speak. Let the game do the majority of the heavy lifting. But to now have the ability for you guys to hear Celestia's thoughts, to actually get to really interact with her, puts this series of 3U on a whole other different level of, wow, Like, when you guys see the very first episode of 3U, I want your constructive criticism right out the gate. I want to see if you liked it, like the video. I never, ever, myself or the wife, we never ask you guys to like, subscribe, any of that, because I feel it needs to be more genuine. I feel like if you really enjoyed it, you'll like it, but we shouldn't have to say that. And I know a lot of content creators on YouTube sit there and say, oh, well, it's a reminder for the audience because they'll forget to, do all these things, and it helps your channel out. And yeah, sure it does, but I don't like force feeding that onto people. Like, no, people should be able to do what they want to do. If they dislike the video, let them dislike it. If they liked it, let them like it. When you guys see the first episode, when it officially gets released, give me the most constructive criticism you've ever given this channel, period. Give me what you felt throughout that episode. Because when you see the very first episode, I want you to be able to look at that and say, this project is probably some of the best work they've done so far. They've really stepped up the tone of what a Monster Hunter walkthrough or a Monster Hunter series could ever be. And that's why we went through such a massive extent, and we, myself and the wife, we brainstormed so much as to what we can do to take things to the next level. To increase the viewer retention, the average viewing retention, but at the same time make it still enjoyable and not take anything away from what we were doing. Not necessarily add on so much to the project, but make it more streamlined, easy to watch, and still keep the pleasurable viewing experience, if that makes sense. 3U is going to be awesome, guys. I know the project has been delayed. We were originally supposed to start in August. We're in early September now, coming up on September 10th, and there's not an episode out yet. Forgive me. Please forgive me. We're working as hard as we can, and thank you so much to everybody that's given Umi and Shio your blessings. That meant a lot. It really did, because we were a little nervous at first during her introduction on the channel for her video. We were a little bit nervous because we weren't sure how everybody was going to react, and you guys loved her. She's, like I said, she's so dynamic. She can do it all. She really can. She has such incredible talent. If there is one VTuber I can say out there that is going to be on Ninji Sanji or Hololive potentially in the next few years, she's going to be it. I'm calling it right now. She's going to have, because with this project, she's going to be able to diverse her portfolio threefold. And you guys, the meta hunters out there, you guys have given her your blessings. You guys stand her right out the gate and said that she's really talented. And I promise you, she's going to be able to capture the emotion of what you feel Celestia has been throughout all these years. She's going to capture every single moment. And she's worked so hard. And a little bit of fan service here. Sorry about that, guys. I had to do it because I know some of you guys would have asked for it, for certain angles, shall we say, or angles for the videos, or for this video in particular. Had to do it. But she's fantastic, and we could not have found a better actress to portray Celestia. Like, she's as good as it gets, and she's incredible. But thank you guys so much. Like I said, I'm rambling a little bit here, but 3U, we're so passionate about this one because you guys were passionate about it. And I want to make sure we recapture that feeling when you first touched that game, when you first went to Moga Village, when you first fought Alatreon, when you did all these things. This is everything when you first fought Lagiakatas, I want to make sure that we recapture those moments. We want to make this the de facto standard, the best one we ever did. For now, at least. Until we do, until we do World 2 or whatchamacallit, or 6, or, whenever we get to that. My voice is cracking up a little bit. My apologies. But 3U it's coming along, guys. We're getting there. Please bear with me with the small delays, please, and bear with my horrible voice at the moment. But it's doing good, guys. I'm telling you, when you see the first episode, I want the constructive criticism. If you liked the first episode, give us that thumbs up. If you disliked it, dislike the video. Whatever you guys have to do to make it very apparent that we're doing something right or we're doing something wrong, and we will do our best to fix it. We're really stepping up our game for this one, and hopefully it shows that, because that's all I could ask, is that all I can ask is that you give it you really give it a shot, because it's gonna be amazing. I promise. So 3U is gonna be good, guys. It's gonna be fantastic. So that's all the current updates I have regarding 3U. Let's get to some life updates. So fatherhood is still amazing. I love it. I absolutely have been having the time of my life raising my own son and being with my wife, when we get time to actually play games. She's been playing. I got her the other day. What did I get her? Animal Crossing New Horizons. So she's been enjoying that for a little bit. We really needed, after we finished World and Iceborne, we really needed to decompress from just like constantly writing and ideas and everything. We definitely needed some time for us. So I tried to hop on a shooting game, which is not anything near what the channel is about, but I hop on some different games, for like an hour, in the very, very spare time that I have. And she's been doing other things, and we all as human beings, we need that time to decompress, and you need breaks, because if we were to do, I probably said this before in a previous Canteen episode, but if I were to play Monster Hunter back to back to back, I'd lose interest quickly, because it's doing the same thing just in a different style. Not that I don't love Monster Hunter, it's just to do it again and immediately have to do it after would be crazy. So our decompressing, or our time off, shall we say, for a little bit has been awesome. But even during that time off, we were blueprinting ideas for 3U, and we were getting everything ready, and doing different we were commissioning, obviously, the voice actress, and commissioning the official art that will be presented for 3U as well. We're just doing so many things at one time, and we always have to make time for family, because that has to come first. Like our son has to come before everything. And unfortunately, this month of September is a very busy month, with doctor's appointments and flu shots, doctor's appointments, dentist visits. My health, I've been taking very good care of myself, very physically fit, and I've always been very physically fit. I've always done a lot of things to make sure I stayed in shape, but my health hasn't been fully up to par, and I actually recently made a doctor's appointment coming up pretty soon. And for those of you that know me in real life, I'm not the best with blood work, and I have a feeling they're gonna end up wanting to take some, and I'm terrible with blood work. You'd almost have to fight me, and I don't mean this literally, but you'd almost have to fight me in order to actually get the needle in my arm. I don't freak out, but when I'm on the the doctor's bed, whatever it is, and I can feel the needle going in, and I can feel the blood going out, like the feeling when you just know they're filling up the vials and everything, and I'm sitting there like, I'm gonna pass out. This sucks. Like, that feeling is the worst feeling it's one of the worst feelings of my life, but I have to go to the doctors for sure. I feel like it's time. I rarely get sick. I mean, I rarely get sick. The last time I got sick was back in 2011. I've not gotten sick since. And I feel like it's definitely time to, just do your due diligence, go to the doctors, and just get everything checked out. But like I said, this is a busy month, and I need to take some time just for my health. Unfortunately, this isn't going to affect 3U at all. Trust me, it won't. But there are some things in life that as adults we have to prioritize and we have to do. And this is one of those things. And unfortunately, I'm not looking forward to the visit. I'm really not. Call me a baby, call me whatever it is, but I'm not looking forward to the visit. It's just one of those things. I hate needles. I can take, like, if it's the flu shot, I can take that. But once you mention, oh, we really should take your blood, because your blood tells you everything. They can tell us your levels, your counts, whatever. I get it. I understand. But I'm not looking forward to it. So pray for me, guys. I'm not looking forward to it. But other than that, parenthood's been amazing. Voice is cracking up a little bit, so my apologies. I'm gonna get frog voice real soon. Fatherhood's been amazing. Parenthood has been amazing. I really could not have asked for a better family. I really couldn't have. It looks like I'm actually going to be transferring to a different state at the end of this year, or not at the end, but sometime in the summer, potentially June or July. It looks like I'll officially be lateraling to a different state within the United States, which is going to be awesome. Obviously, my wife is, she's hoping for Texas, and I'm kind of hoping for down south as well, but I have to take what I can get. So I don't know. I could end up in Wyoming. I could end up in Kansas, Nebraska, Louisiana, Alaska. Who knows? I could end up anywhere, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun times. We're finally, looking. We're just looking forward at this point to a change of scenery. Taxes in my current state keep going up, and it's just not getting worth it. It's not worth it anymore to stay here any longer than necessary at this point. So we're definitely looking forward to that, which means I'll be house hunting. Well, I probably already mentioned that before, but I'll be house hunting pretty soon. And it's just going to be wonderful times. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to starting another chapter in our life. And it'll be good. Hopefully one day we'll open up the house and, after the pandemic and invite some of the meta hunters over. Here we'll have like a barbecue stream or something. And you guys can, we'll talk Monster Hunter over some burgers, some good old burgers and fries and stuff like that. That would be fantastic. I would love to pick a lot of your guys' minds. Drake, in particular, is also you're a very intelligent person for sure. I can easily see that by the way you articulate yourself and your wording. But like, I would love to speak to a lot of you guys. Brickman, Drake, there's so many. Dima. I wish I could name you all. Jojo. I'm sorry. I can't name all the meta hunters, but I really wish I could, because you guys are all just fantastic. I would love to, like I said, I would love to get a group conversation on Discord just to, for one of the future Calamity Canteens, and just to discuss Monster Hunter, because I love to hear what other people have to say about the game and whatnot. It's fantastic. But life for me, guys, outside of maybe a little potential, not a health scare, but a health concern. Outside of that, everything is going pretty well. Son's doing fantastic. Wife is doing fantastic. And we're, like I said, we're excited for 3U. We're just as excited as you guys are. And we're just excited to continue another step in our life, make another major stepping stone, and go from there. But life has been going very well, guys. I truly cannot complain. I truly can't. I talk to a lot of people from across the world. I talk to people from South America. I speak to people out in Asia. because I used to teach English in China. That was one of my occupations at one point, going back a few years. So I keep in contact with a lot of people, and I just like to see what's going on in the world. If you're not learning something new every day, be it big or small, you're getting worse, in my opinion. I feel like there's so much out there that we can learn as human beings that just make living all that much more worth it. Take advantage of each and every day that you guys got and learn something. Learn something new. Just like I do. I try to, at least. Be it a language or whatever. Learn something new. Doesn't matter what it is. Sorry, I'm going to take another swig here. Oh, man. Whew. Lord. I'm going to feel this tomorrow for sure. Actually, I'm pretty good with alcohol. It takes a lot to get me going for anything, but, it's Labor Day weekend. Let's have just a little bit of fun. So, in one of the previous Calamity Canteen episodes, I mentioned anime, and I mentioned that I'm not a weeb. I'm not huge into anime, but I respect it, and I do sit down. I will watch a couple. Like I said, my son is getting introduced. I'm introducing him to everything I was introduced to at a young age. So that's Pokemon and Digimon. Hopefully I'll get him into at one point. But Beyblades and Yokai. Right now we're watching Yokai as a family. Yokai, Beyblade, Pokemon. We just started Pokemon Journeys, so I'm trying to catch up. I think right now there's 12 episodes over here in the United States, so I'm trying to catch up right now, but I think we're on episode 5. Loving it. Absolutely loving the series. It's amazing because as you get older, some things never change, and for me, that's Pokemon. I will always love Pokemon for sure, and Monster Hunter, but there are certain games that I will always continue to love, and that's one of them, so it's funny too, because on some... Actually, a funny story. I will say this. I had a job offer with, I don't know if I should say the company's name, but it was a Fortune 500 company, and they just opened up a new location over in Denver, Colorado. Well, not Denver, but about 45 minutes north of Denver. I think it was Centennial. And I got the job, or I landed it, but they wanted me to relocate. They wanted me to relocate, but what they were offering wasn't going to cut it for me, so I ended up declining. But it was funny because when I originally wrote on my application, when I handed in my application, my resume, my cover letter, my certifications, all that, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I occasionally write on the address, when you're doing your resume, I occasionally write down Palatown. No lie. I occasionally do that. And not out of spite or anything, but I love to see if the employer's actually paying attention sometimes. So, because it's just funny when you go for the interview and they're like, "We noticed you're from Palatown. Where the hell is that?" I have a good laugh occasionally. Sometimes I'm a troll in real life, but yes, for those, sometimes people get it, other times it just goes way over their head. But I've done that on occasions just out of fun, and it's just one of those stupid little things you do. As you get older, you always have to entertain yourself, and that's one of the things. I don't recommend doing that personally, but I've done it. But yeah, that was something that was going a couple years back as well too. Before I landed this position where I currently am for sure. But it was funny how far I went in there, because they had like a 3-stage interview process, and I've been through that before. So that was nothing new to me, but to know that they weren't paying attention because that was overlooked was very interesting. But I do like anime guys. I do like anime, but it has to be very particular ones. Like I'm a fan of shonens in particular, but it really just depends. So shout outs to the weebs, shout outs to a lot of you guys on social media that like to post a lot of anime art and a lot of goodness. A lot of fan art is what I'll call it. but it's a lot of voluptuous anime waifus. Shoutouts to you guys out there that are able to draw are able to draw such feats. It's wild. Many times the wife has gotten confused as to what I was looking at on my phone, and she just looks at it and says, "What the hell is this? Like, what is this nonsense you're looking at?" But shoutouts to you guys. I like anime, guys. I do. I don't mean to offend anybody out there. I do like anime. I don't religiously watch it, if that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense to each their own. But I'll watch Dragon Ball. I'll watch whatever. So here's a fun fact that I think a lot of you guys really would enjoy. Occasionally, when we have writer's block for an episode, or we just don't know where and what we want to do with Celestia, because this happened in a couple of series past, mainly MH2 for sure. Occasionally, when I have writer's block, I don't know if you guys do this, I actually will listen to music, and music is awesome because it helps structure your mind, and it helps you keep focus. And some music actually made their way into episodes. So for, like, believe it or not, what episode was it? MH2 Dose. What I was listening to SWV, and I was listening to their track Rain one day, and I forgot what episode it was. It was one of the later ones, and that actually became the theme of what we were writing for Celestia. If I find out what that episode was, I'll let you guys know. But certain things like what was it? Black Hole Sun. I was listening to that when we were doing the White Fatalis episode, the finale, and it just helped get me out of writer's block, and at the same time it helped it just made the creative juices flowing, if that makes sense. Again, I'm sure a lot of you guys do that as well. But Black Hole Sun, that was one. SWV Rain, I Get Around by Tupac, that kind of influenced one episode from MH2. Don't ask how, but it did. So I listen to a wide range of music occasionally when we're just stuck and we don't know what to do. That's one thing that I will do occasionally, and it's worked out. So actually, hell, what episode was it? In MH World, the recent series, there was a quote that I used from City of Men, and many of the Portuguese familia, because Meta Hunters has a very big Brazil audience as well. Always had. Shoutouts to the gentlemen in the Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, and the favelas. But one quote we used was from City of Men, and the quote, I think, if I recall it correctly, was something along the lines of, I'll tell you the reality, though it may not be funny." It was something along those lines, and I was hoping one of our Brazilians in the Meta Hunters family was actually going to catch that quote. And I think it went over, I think it was overshadowed a little bit given the context of the episode. But occasionally in the descriptions, we'll actually leave tidbits in there, just like small little Easter eggs. And it's up to you guys to kind of decipher that. But that's an Easter egg from a little bit of inspiration from outside the realm of Monster Hunter in particular. A lot of things influence some certain episodes or just inspire, and that's always fun. So I pulled up my playlist actually, because I was actually curious myself, and there's definitely a lot of like OSTs from different games that influence some episodes, namely Resident Evil a little bit. Trying to think. Indigo by Nicki, Rich Brian, 100 Degrees. Just a lot of different music and soundtracks from, like, let's say Elegant Sister, or artsy music, a little bit of future funk in there. Anything where I can take and I can feel and kind of visualize what I want the episode to be about. Well, because myself and the missus, we write the episodes. Anything that we can take and to get better visualization of what we would like the audience to feel. We usually just, we roll with it. We shake the dice a little bit, and sometimes we just roll with it. But yeah, actually a lot of music. Sometimes there's a little bit of quotes in there. There's a little bit of actual Easter egg tidbits from the channel. So keep an eye on the description and what you guys are reading. Especially up and coming for 3U, because some of you guys are going to actually be like, hey, is this from here? Or like, maybe this was like a quote from an anime or something. I don't know. Just fun stuff, fun tidbits. So keep an eye on the description sometimes, because occasionally we'll leave an Easter egg in there or two. That's always fun. Just another way of us interacting with you guys. Maybe not directly, but in a fun way of indirectly. So in closing for tonight's Calamity Canteen, as my throat starts to sound like a croaked frog, I really should take a little bit more interval breaks in between these sessions, so that way my voice doesn't sound like I'm croaking at night. My apologies, guys. I'll do that for the next one. But there's a lot going on, both personally in life, but it's a lot of positives. Like, if I were to outline the negatives and the positives, it's no competition. The positives right now far outweigh the negatives, and I'm just very excited to see where everything is going to go for 3U. I'm really excited to showcase everything, because it's going to be, I'm telling you, and I mean this very passionately when I say it, 3U is going to be the best one, possibly the best one that we'll ever do. But I hope it's going to be everything that you guys have ever wanted. Everything that you think that this channel could never have done before. I want it to just jaw drop. Maybe not even jaw drop, but definitely leave a long-standing good impression on the Monster Hunter community. I really want it to be the de facto. I mean, not to say I'm competing with any other MH content creator out there. I'm not. I love watching and supporting a lot of other channels whenever I can. And that's something I really think that we really should do more often. In the MH content, in terms of the content creators for Monster Hunter related channels, I feel that we really could collaborate with one another a lot more than we already do, and set a better precedent for the future generations of hunters to come in, because what we do now is going to inspire generations moving forward. So the more we actually collaborate with one another, the more we can actually discuss different varying opinions, be it on Monster Hunter, and agree and disagree and go back and forth on topics. I feel like that's something that I feel like currently in the Monster Hunter community we're lacking. And we need to be able to get old school hunters, Gen 1, like myself, old school Gen 1 hunters, to be able to communicate with the new school, the guys and gals that started with World, or started with 3U or 4, or so on and so forth. Because when we're really able to do that, we can really come together as a community even better than what we were doing. It's been a long time since the old school dial-up, trying to schedule a hunt on AT&T or something like that. AOL, excuse me, I was going to say AT&T, AOL. scheduling and doing Rathian plate or Rathalos plate runs via AOL Messenger while listening to Napster or something. But it's been a long time. And we, as the older generation, need to uphold a responsibility that we need to not coach, but we need to make sure we are doing our due diligence to make sure the newer generation of hunters coming in and enjoying Monster Hunter, we need to make sure everyone feels welcomed. And we need to make sure that we're doing our part to say everyone in this community has a voice. And everyone is allowed to express their opinions, concerns, and not all of us are Gen 1, max rank, rank 20 hunters right out the gate. That's not the case. And shoot, many of us will never be MH999 or now what it's MH9000 like crazy. I don't know. I feel like that's still something that we need to focus on a little bit more. So I don't know if Gaijin actually watches these videos, or anybody, Kanta, Gaijin, whoever. If you want to absolutely, come and actually discuss the current iterations of Monster Hunter, or like just discuss Monster Hunter from the past, there's a lot of cool stories that we could tell. Like, how did you guys do Troublesome Pair back in the day? How did you guys do Handle with Care back in the day? What was it like for the new school players that never got to experience it back then? I know one of you guys brought up, I think it was Drake actually. You said it would be a cool video to, discuss Monster Hunter Frontier, and I agree with you, because Frontier was in a whole other ballgame of itself. It was kind of in a whole other world. That would be a cool video, and I definitely want to do a lot more commentary videos like this. Maybe not as long though, and just talk about life in general. Talk about stuff I did, when I graduated high school, and make you guys aware of who I am. Make you guys aware of who we are. We're all human beings at the end of the day, and we need to communicate a little bit more, for sure. And I'm guilty of that. I need to communicate more with you guys. Hence why in future Calamity Canteens and whatnot, I really want to make the channel more community oriented, and do like hunter spotlights, Hunter of the Month spotlights, because there's some hunters you guys wouldn't even think of that are on, let's say, if you guys are, I'm sure some of you guys are a fan of Kanta. There's hunters like him from like Thailand and Vietnam and Cambodia. Like, one of those hunters, the one from Cambodia in particular, he showed me a video going back 2018. He showed me a video, and he was hunting, I think it was Gravios, or I forgot, I think it was some monster in the volcanic region. And he messaged me. In his message it said, I was inspired to do this because I saw your video. And that was crazy to me. And I watched that video, and I was like taken back. I was like, holy crap, that's so awesome. This is what I'm about. This is me as a human being. This is me as a hunter, as a fellow hunter. I'm all about showcasing what others across the world are doing. I'm always thinking to myself, what's the Monster Hunter community out in Brazil doing? What's the Monster Hunter community out in Indonesia? Because these are growing communities that are growing fast. Like, South America is growing at a rapid pace. Like, Monster Hunter is becoming so huge. It's nuts. And I want to try to be able to connect with everybody as much as possible. do something that I don't think a lot of us right now are doing. We should be doing this kind of stuff. We should be trying to center the community a little bit and get a lot of different voices and opinions on the table, you know. And that's something that I if I had more time, I would invest more and more time into doing that. And I'm going to do it. I just need more free time to be able to do it, because life is just life. Life is a responsibility that has to be handled first, especially as a father. I can easily tell you, as a father, that has to come first. But Monster Hunter has given me something I never thought I could have. It's really opened up the door in many ways. Just in terms of being a content creator, it's been wonderful all these years. I never could have imagined going back from MH1 all those years ago and then to where we are now. That's crazy. It's fantastic. It really is something that we don't content creators, we really don't appreciate sometimes what we have. And it's something that we, when we design Meta Hunters and everything, it's just something, and I know I'm rambling a bit here, but it's something that we cherish. We really do. We really enjoy all of you guys, because each and every single one of you are incredible hunters. Even if you're a novice hunter, somebody commented the other day on the Fatalis video that I did years ago and said, I wish I was a veteran hunter. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're a veteran. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran or you're new. Welcome. I'm happy you're here. Like, what can I do to help you? If you need help, message me something, message the channel, or leave a comment on the community tab, or whatever you feel comfortable with doing. I will always make time for others around me, because I've always been like that. I've always been about my community around me and serving the people and everything. That goes back to my corrections officer, my you know, my time in that goes back a bit. It goes back to my passion of being with people and just getting to hear all different perspectives on life and just everything. Goodness, I rambled a little bit, didn't I? My apologies, guys, but like I said, and I know I've mentioned that before, but I feel like with the direction that the channel is taking, we're going to be more involved with you guys. Like I said, that would be a cool idea. Do like a Monster Hunter spotlight and show you guys hunters from all over the world. And, you know, just as you guys would become fans of Celestia, maybe you guys would become fans of these hunters as well. You know, try to support one another as much as we can, because you'd never know. It's sounding a little dark toned right now, but I've actually known a few content creators that have passed away in recent years. It's crazy. It's like, wow. Any point, live your life, guys. Live it to the best of your ability. Don't take anything for granted. You will never. I've failed a lot of times in my life. I've learned a lot. I have, and I'm still learning to this day. I'm failing and I'm succeeding, because if I'm trying, I'm never failing, as long as I'm learning from my mistakes. Take that mentality with hunting. It took me 12 tries to slay a Latreon in World once. Do that, and do that with Rathalos, with whatever you hunt in any of the Monster Hunter games. Try. Do your best and keep trying until you succeed. Because when you succeed one time, I promise you, you'll succeed multiple times going forward. I'm not a motivational speaker at all, I promise. I'm not. But the Meta Hunters community means a lot to me. It really does. I sincerely appreciate a lot all of you guys. I really do. So, and we do. I do. My wife does. This isn't a full-time job for me. Content creating is something that I know a lot of people say it's like the dream job, and right now, I definitely cannot. I don't have the time to invest into it full time. Hence why there's breaks. Hence why there's times we're not uploading anything, and it's not. It doesn't mean that we're not here. It just means that we have life to take care of, and maybe one day this will become a full-time thing, but I don't. Even if it was a full-time venture, I don't think. I still think I would continue to work. I still think I would be in my career path and whatnot, because I there's still a lot in life I want to accomplish and want to do and want to improve as a person and everything else. There's a lot I still want to do. But goodness, it's cool. Believe me, to the other content creators that can do this full time, God bless you. Seriously, that's awesome. Live the dream. Live the life. But for us right now, it isn't a full-time thing, but we are doing our absolute best to put every spare minute of time that we have into making the channel and making this community even better. And I hope with what we're doing, it's coming to fruition sooner rather than later. Regardless of whether it does, I want you guys to be able to look at this and say they're giving it their all. So let's support them as much as we can. Shoot, because as young parents, man, it gets harder. It really does. But that's all for this episode of Calamity Canteen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry I rambled. Sorry my voice is croaking. Like I said, I'll try to take more vocal breaks because, goodness, my voice is croaked. But thank you guys so much. And I will see you in the next episode of Calamity Canteen. But before that, I will see you guys for MH3U. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And Estrada da Estrella, and stay safe, everyone. Keep hunting. Hunt on, everybody. Talk to you soon. Take care.